Now, if you're an affordable state, what did you ask about the next big guy is Pat Bradley. He's going down the line. We may have those things. Right? Like, we came back and we forget about the issue. My last question was,
What we see these states doing right now is bringing the administration into court to raise serious concerns about the targeting of their states. And their states are being targeted and really vilified. The administration has called them so-called sanctuary states, and it's trying to force them into a really dangerous situation where the communities themselves are being besieged by thousands, literally thousands of federal agents. And those federal agents are coming in without cooperation from state and local officials, without that kind of collaboration that normally you would see if state, federal, and local officials were working together to deal with a real law enforcement issue. It's not about public safety. That's what the state and local officials are saying, that this isn't about public safety for the administration. This is about terrorizing these communities. And so the constitutional issues at stake are, can you really have a constitutional system where the federal government is attacking its own states? It's singling out those states because they're run by the political opponents of the current administration. That is anathema to our system. That is never something that in modern times in this country we have had to deal with. It's really unprecedented for us to see these federal agents descending upon an American community in this way. And it is time for state and local officials, as they are doing here, to push back and say enough is enough. Taking them to court is another way of pushing back on what is really a brazen assault on our civil rights by this administration.
But just give us a bit of context. How big a problem is illegal migration in the U.S.?
You know, the Trump administration has spent months vilifying immigrant communities in the United States. And the reality is, of course, that statistics show that people who are non-citizens are far less likely to commit crimes. People who are non-citizens contribute to this country. They have for generations, and today they are the people who are in our communities who are acting as doctors,
picked up KNX out of LA, nice, at 1070.
In farms and on fields, and they are vital to everything in this country, from our culture to our community, to our economy. And so what the administration is doing is finding a scapegoat to distract the public from all the else that is going wrong in the country, including...
Anyway, this is just WNYC 820. It's a local station. Right now it's after midnight here in Yonkers, New York. So of course they're playing BBC World Service overnight. Yeah. I know T Radio 1972 the other day caught CJOB out of Winnipeg, and he caught another station, that's the one I've been trying to get for a while. I'm hoping maybe tonight I get it. I don't know. I'm getting a couple of signals at 860, but it's still early for Winnipeg. I have to wait a couple of more hours. I'll try to get Winnipeg tonight. I don't know if it's gonna happen because 860 I usually get either Providence up there, somewhere in Providence. Or I get Toronto. But I would like to get CJOB. That would be nice. And hello, James Farley. So I'm going to let it play for a little bit. I'm going to be on for a while. Just going to try to do some DXing tonight. That's it. I'm not going to put no particular radio station.
Agents in to storm our streets, our schools.
Forces.
Right. We don't know, is it true or is it not true? We just know that the White House press secretary retweeted it and basically was like, read this.
810.
It is interesting. I've seen the account, and
I'm going to try this one tonight.
The officer that said this. Then again, right now in Venezuela, armed left-wing political gangs who support Maduro are literally going house to house trying to find people who are happy with his ouster and put a bullet in their skull. So, maybe you don't want to name those people. So, one of those things, it's very difficult to find out what's actually going on. It's very, very tough. All right, she's the best skier that we know. She's an amazing talent in the newsroom, and she is Amy Costello. And any other curse words you want to say on the way out?
No, that's it.
All right.
This thing's done for the day.
Yeah, you want to say bitch? I'm just saying, kiss my ass, Sean.
I'll come up with a new one for next week.
Okay, all right.
I'll send you the list.
Amy Costello. Follow her on all social media platforms. She is the best of the best and a perfect follow, I'm telling you. If you live here in Orlando, watch Good Day Orlando and the Crew every morning. If you don't know where you're listening to the show today, this is where I go to see what's happening each morning in the many stores. I'll say some of the platforms this week. About 35 Orlando and the top. And we'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Thank you.
With more of your emails, a shocking act that is really taking off the top right now. The moving truck, the U-Haul truck that appeared in the streets at one of these Iranian protests, and then was surrounded after it plowed through all the people. It was one of the most intense moments I've seen in a very long time. Yep, that is the show rolls on and so much more. Coming up next on the news, Chucky. Be a better person. Venezuela. Illegitimate dictator. Country. Nicolas Maduro, what happens then? And his chance happens here. Left around, and he found out. News Radio 1031 at 810 WGY. Security is first. Everyone else is You're listening to the News Junkie. Including somebody in a U-Haul shop in L.A. just smashing down some of the native protesters when these Iranian folks were out there doing their thing. It got wild. That's what happened there in just a moment. Join us with a dispatch. Record your opinions, your thoughts on anything we're talking about on the show. Ask any questions at any moment. So it's perpetual Ask Me Anything. over there. Record whatever you have on your mind at thenewsjunkie.com. Before we get into the U.S. thing. Last night, I looked over at the TV. I don't watch a lot of live TV. But I happened to glance over at the TV where we were. And I said, son of a bitch, they bring Fear Factor back to television?
Yeah, your birthday, dude.
And Courtney's like, oh, yeah. And she looks and she's like trying to get a good look at Johnny Knoxville from Jackass is the host now of this new Fear Factor that they cut their background show. And she goes, well, only old people watch broadcast television for the most part. And I think they're not going to want to watch a show like Fear Factor. Don't think it's too bright. When do you think Fear Factor was on?
All right. And a lot of bleed over there. This is a WGY out of Schenectady, Albany. So that's WGY. We just heard it earlier anyway.
2001.
Hello, RT08.
Member of the
Still a little early.
And I had my family.
Yeah, it's still early. That's why.
Nonetheless, I'm calling a couple of items. I think I know that there's stuff. It's an old boat town, built in 1952, and they've gotten a lot for this. Thank you.
Many people have told me that the
job creation was in government, and I railed about that on a regular basis because if you're hiring people at the city, county, state, and federal level, those people are out spending money. They will be going to bars, restaurants. They'll be going and they'll be purchasing merchandise, clothing, and so on, cars and everything as far as the GDP is concerned. But where they get their money is from you and me. They're taking money out of they're confiscating more of our wealth so that they can hire employees so that they can continue to create whatever regulations and whatnot. But if you look at the way that the increases in different government jobs over the last year, or the last several years, it's been unbelievable. And the number of people that are holding government jobs that are getting six-figure income has exploded exponentially. And so when you look at that, you figure that that's a drain on the American public, that's a drain on our taxes, it's taking more taxes to pay for these people. And then we hear about the inefficiencies of government. We witness this on a daily basis whenever we have an interaction with the government in terms of licensing and so on. We see the inefficiencies.
Yeah, not of the
So if they got double the amount of employees to do the level of work that you in the private sector would do with one person, that's where some of this waste, fraud, and abuse comes into play. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Waste and abuse. So again, with the government only adding 2,000 jobs, when in the past we were seeing on a monthly basis, the governments across the country were adding 54, 55, 57,000 jobs a month, which is absolutely insane. I'll pick this up. I'm Kevin Gordon, America's Trucking Network, 700 WLW.
News, traffic, and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
Jewish ties allegedly caused a man to set fire to a synagogue in the south.
WLW.
12:30 reports.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Breaking now. We've learned more about the man accused of burning down a historic Jewish synagogue in Jackson, Mississippi over the weekend.
FBI affidavit lays out the arson case against Stephen Spencer Pittman, 19, who is from the area. It claims that he targeted the Beth Israel Congregation Temple because of the building's, quote, Jewish ties, and that he laughed about the attack when talking to his father, calling the building the synagogue of Satan.
ABC's Pierre Thomas. Pittman's father contacted the FBI to report the incident. He's been charged with arson of property used in interstate commerce.
Now the latest forecast from the Crane Heating and Cooling Weather Center on News Radio 700 WLW.
Overnight, we got mostly clear skies with the low hitting 31. Your Tuesday will be warmer, high reaching near 50, but partly cloudy skies. But beware, it'll be a breezy day. And your Tuesday night, that's when hit and miss showers will move into your Wednesday. Low dropping down to 40. It's 34 right now. We're working on learning more about the
nice. KNX still coming in. Wow, nice.
Cincinnati police reported the chase began around the Central Parkway and Ludlow Avenue intersection, adding the driver was taken into custody around 11 o'clock, ending said pursuit. It's unclear when the chase began, where the chase ended, what led to the chase, or who was arrested. Later this morning, Latonia Elementary School...
Back in temporary
Nothing. There's a carrier, but it's just noise.
Everything looking good on the wall. The band no fixed in the channel, so nothing going on between the Bristol or the Tacony Farm Highway. Next update in less than 10, I'm not appointed to the center. Here's AccuWeather's Brian Thompson with your 5-day forecast. Under a mainly clear sky tonight, will drop down to near 30 for an overnight low. Now, as the answer is Tuesday, sunshine will give way to clouds over the course of the day, and the breeze will pick back up again into the afternoon. But texture-wise, not bad for the middle of January, a high close to 50, and not all that cold Tuesday night either. A lot of clouds, the low just 41. Temperature climb even a little bit higher on Wednesday, despite clouds limiting sun. Wednesday's high about 52. We will see a little bit of rain, it looks like, into Wednesday night. Now, Thursday, there could be a bit of snow or rain at times in the morning, and then a snow shower around in the afternoon and evening as it turns windy and colder. Thursday's high about 35. Temperatures may even drop a bit toward the end of the day, and it will be quite chilly on Friday. A partly sunny, breezy day. Friday's high around 33.
will bounce back again into Saturday. I'm asking meteorologist Brian Thompson. Police are looking for the gunman who killed a 16-year-old boy in the bathroom of a Chipotle on Temple's campus. From North Philadelphia, KW's Vic Ragazzi. Around 5:15 Monday evening, police found a 16-year-old boy shot once in the chest in the Chipotle at the corner of 12th Street and Montgomery Avenue. Minutes later, medics pronounced him dead on the scene. Chief Inspector Scott Small says police believe he was shot in the bathroom. Not only did we find the victim in the bathroom, we also found one.
That's KYW out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This antenna, I had it for a few years. I bought it a few years ago. I bought this from eBay. They still sell it. The maker of this antenna passed away a few years ago, but I guess somebody took over the making this antenna. So this antenna, you can look for it on eBay. That's the call sign right there. Sugar Victor 2, Charlie Z Foxtrot. So SV2CZF. Antenna is a ferrite AM medium wave. Of course, you can see right there. Medium wave ferrite antenna. It's well made. It even has the jack. I can plug it in directly into the radio if I want also. I pay about $50 for this antenna. I had it for a few years now, I'm going to say about 6 years now. So it's a nice antenna. I made a review on it. I did a comparison compared to these loops. It's basically on par. I mean, I like it. The only reason why I like it because it sits right there on a smaller radio. And, you can tune around.
Officials say measles is a highly contagious virus.
WHO out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. WHO out of Iowa.
To overstate the significance of Franklin's humiliation at the contest. It was devastating. He was a proud and loyal retired man, and now he was a committed patriot. At the time, he tried to pretend that he didn't matter. And telling me that they still support me and that they're indignant that I received. He told his sister Jane that she was proud that he had lost his post office job. This was a badge of honor. He said it's never time to defend himself. Kept his cool, calm, silent. It wasn't something. After the cockpit, Franklin neared Darby was yesterday. His vision changed in a variety of ways. He was sitting almost like a family. He was a before and after picture. Before the cockpit, he laughed when he heard people went on and Patrick Moore say, I am disappointed with the man's mind that he was trying to destroy Columbia and Missouri. This is paranoid. They know these people. This is not true. They respect us, they love our liberties, and we can do this now that this does not mean that instance no idea of 1774. The men who hold
There's another station in there too. I'm not in front of I don't have a computer here. There's definitely another station. WHO. Sugar Victor 2, Charlie Z Foxtrot. eBay. I think it's still selling on eBay at about $50. It's a ferrite bar antenna. The maker has passed on a few years ago, but his family still sells them. He makes several antennas. So yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm hearing another station on the. Hearing another station on the WHO.
I don't remember the same the song, but when I just leave Royal to get out of this place. This is the last thing we ever went. So they give to the bison. And the people living in those areas needed to reinvest in their areas. And the king was taxing them and then sucking the money overseas. With
Your law firm.
I apologize.
Range of wood.
He ran to find his son because he didn't. No, there's no fight. There's no hide and seek.
Screening, cancer test.
And no essay. Six pots. L'écran, les espèces de téléviseurs, sont no more than truthful.
Wall.
AXCL 1540. It's too early.
$29.98 and 6-pack of towels,
well,
$39.98.
WPHC out of
These are the
Philly.
items closest to us, and you and I deserve fresh and new. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-844-00. mypillow.com, promo code Walter.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider. 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your family. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you. He's only on number 2.
That's too early. I'm getting a lot of bleed over from 660. Still early. I have to wait another couple of hours before it really comes in. And I'm getting a lot of bleed over from, what is it? FAN.
And if you're going to handle a situation like that, that was just the wrong way to handle it.
pretty much have done what Buffalo needs. And they're like, oh, Buffalo, not St. Rose.
All right, our next broadcast is Thursday night, first the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll be on the air at 9 p.m. to talk about the Mariners first Maple Leaf showdown we've all been waiting for. So 9 o'clock will be our TV show and 9:30 o'clock Robbie. Yes, lots to discuss. In the meantime, it'll be a celebratory version of Blue Stock with Katie Dunkett and Samuel Green. Thanks for listening to Most Impossible. And of course, I'll find you on the page.
I can hear Cuba, but I can hear it. It's a little early though. Another hour maybe. And my neighbors still got their lights out there. Like really? They have their lights out there still. I gotta move it over to that corner. I can hear it there. But I'll wait a little while.
I had it with you.
680.
You know they can attribute what it is I give you. I'm going to show you it if I can show you. Let you hear it if I can let you hear it. I'm going to give you the link and I'm giving you the link. And then you make your own decision. But to make a decision off of, it's almost like college. All these college students these days want socialism. And you say, really, you want to absolutely, it's better. Everybody's socialism is great. I can give you 18 reasons why it's great. And you can say, well, has it ever worked on Earth? No, but they weren't doing the right kind of socialism. And then you say, okay, let's say you got an A on a test, and I got an F on a test. Would you be cool if we both got a C? And they pause, and they think, and they say, well, no, I worked for that A. Right. Exactly right. So you did your hard work, you didn't have to go to help that guy who's not trying very hard.
I can hear another station behind it, but right now I hear Joe Pags, but that's, I believe that's Providence. So that's Joe Pags, I believe. Is it Boston or Providence? One of the two, anyway. But I really want to hear this early. So that's Canada, 690, that's CKGM, TSN, Canada, Montreal, Canada.
Me too. Super comfortable talking about that
WGN. Yeah, WOR just bleeding. Oh, Zoom Radio. Toronto, I'm gonna let it play. What the hell? Give me the copyright, I don't care. I'll let it play some music. Zoom Radio. I'll take the views. So Zoomer Radio coming in good.
I'm gonna fight you with my friends. Yeah, you're the courtyard, I'm Jimmy. I'm gonna fight you with my friends. I'm gonna fight you with girl and make you feel good all over again.
And as Victor Stardust and the show featured Rufus, the Chaka Khan, and Muddy Waters, the Sean Cat. And that's it. I'm Vicky. Thank you for joining me. Bye.
The all-night jukebox on Zoomer Radio, the original greatest hits.
This is all going to backfire. What is the point of all this? Remember, Paul is only for 2 more years as the federal reserve governor, but more people are now telling me that they think this year I encourage Powell to just stay on for those next 2 years. We have to actually another vacancy on the federal reserve.
WSB Atlanta. All right, Keegan.
is extending the double bus lanes on Madison Avenue. Currently, they run from 42nd to 60th Streets, but will soon start at 23rd Street. That will speed the buses up from their current average of just 4.5 miles per hour. Several restaurant chains are offering deals through this Saturday in celebration of National Pizza Week. Monica Nelson with a few of those cheesy options.
Pizza Hut is selling their 16-inch big New Yorker pizza for $10, and the company has partnered with retired Super Bowl champ Tom Brady to promote the pie. Domino's is offering $1,000 pizzas for just under $8 for carryout. California Pizza Kitchen making a $5 pizza deal available to members of the CPK Rewards loyalty program. I'm Monica Nelson.
A positive start to the week on Wall Street. The Dow gained 86 points to close at 49,590. The S&P 500 added 10 points to 69.77, and the Nasdaq rose 62 points to end the trading day at 23,733. In sports, there will be a new Super Bowl champion this year. The 49ers upset the Eagles 23-19 in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs from Philadelphia. The 49ers will be without their star tight end, though, for the rest of the season. George Kittle suffered a torn right Achilles during the team's win. From the 77 WABC Weather Center, your forecast overnight is calling for clear skies, the low 36 degrees.
Yeah,
later
maybe
on
Jacqueline
today,
will call
clouds
in,
will increase. It will be breezy with a high of 46, and the outlook for Wednesday is mostly cloudy and the high again around 46 degrees. We currently have clear skies outside of our Midtown studios. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
This is for anyone with a story, anyone with an opinion, anyone who needs to know, anyone who wants to laugh, sing, and dance. This is for anyone with a voice. This is 77 WABC. Using common sense thinking with community-focused reporting and the best lineup in talk radio. Proud to be entertaining and informative. We are 77 WABC. A station built just for you. Entertaining talk, information, and New York opinions.
It ain't going nowhere.
The world famous and American original. Talk Radio 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand 24/7. Download the 77 WABC mobile app now. This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
With Lionel.
Howdy, Lionel with you, and welcome to The Other Side of Midnight, also called Bowling for Sports Shirts and Make Way for Mr. Nobody. Let me tell you something, my friends. This is the show about everything and anything. The stuff that is not allowed to be talked about during the day. The things that are not allowed to be spoken of in adult company. Why? Because they're different. Because it's different. It's a tone, it's a platform, it's a direction. It's everything that is different. It's ribaldry. It's a brilliant riposte every now and then, if I might say so myself. It's you. It's playful interaction. It's mondo. It's strange. It's Monty Python meets Bennett Cerf. And no, I don't know what that means either. We're talking about a variety of topics. You can call it discursive. You can call it elliptical. You can call it whatever you want. Stream of consciousness. I don't know. You give it a name, that's fine. We will be talking about so many things that strikes our fancy because it is overnight. And this is the hallowed area of the overnight discussion, the offbeat. Again, the mondo. Think of it as radio jazz.
No, just doing a little DX
about the travails of Blaze's dog, this poor dog who just, it's like the Timothy Leary.
Yeah, listening to the Lionel show now.
One disaster. The dog does nothing. Dog says, leave me alone. But adults have all these viruses, all these antibacterials. How about this? We're going to talk about how people can talk about the same.
I remember watching him on WOR when he did the editorial.
I can't.
This is like 20 years. This is like 30 years ago.
Ice and
he used to do the editorial on WOR TV.
Did he have the gun? Did he?
Well, now it's My 9, but back then it was WOR.
Did she bump into him? Was it? What is this? The Zapruder. You're missing the point. How about the active denial system? You know what that is? Anybody?
That's when I first heard of Lionel, when I saw him on WOR.
See, in other words, people have this idea. They'll say things like,
Channel 9.
Ooh, I like
New York City.
Conspiracies. It's not conspiracy.
And then it became My 9.
By the way, just like people cannot pronounce Mamdani, they can't They don't know what the conspiracy
the
is.
editorial.
The active denial system. Have you ever seen these stories where people were saying that they were getting sick? Did you hear that? They were on various, all of a sudden, various, dare I say, these protests around the world. All of a sudden, people were getting sick. And they were getting very, very, very sick. And it was weird, very strange. Well, there's something called, you know what DARPA is?
Sonic weapon.
Defense, whatever, research
so supposedly
program,
they used a sonic weapon on the Venezuelans.
Whatever. It's DARPA.
It made them throw up,
remember, in
get
every
nauseous,
TV
some of them
show,
throw
every
blood.
movie, there's a guy who was
It's a
the
non-lethal weapon.
lab expert, the one back home, the guy who
It's called
has
a
the
sonic
gadgets,
weapon.
and the one who shows Bond,
It's an ultrasound
and
weapon.
the one who shows Maxwell Smart, and even a Naked Gun. And
I'm telling you,
Ray, remember,
we're the greatest army in the world.
Officer Ray,
Nobody can mess with us.
Something like it was the
Remember that,
guy
folks.
with the white coat, the one who showed you these things. DARPA is incredible. DARPA is the part of I guess, the Defense Department, which is so fantastic. And what DARPA does is it comes up with some of the most incredible things you've ever thought of. This is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. It used to be called ARPA, I think it was, the initial part of it.
By the way, DARPA invented the internet.
Is the
not Al Gore.
Weapons that we use.
Booyah.
DARPA is brilliant. DARPA. Remember, you are living in a world where they give you devices that you use where you think they're free. You think they're beneficial to you. How do I say this? One of the most potent rodenticides ever, these rat poisons, is this poison that allows the rats to coat themselves with this poison, knowing that the rats go back into the nest and they lick and preen and groom each other. Well, that's what these devices are. You take them into your home. You take your phone into your home and you put all your information in there, your pictures, and they know you're going to put everything on there. So they create this thing. This is DARPA. The internet was DARPA, not Al Gore. DARPA. That's what this is about. Well, let me tell you a great little story here, which is absolutely fascinating. I love great weapons, non-lethal weapons. Let me tell you something. If I had my way, all right, I would absolutely, positively be a despot, okay? Brilliant would be my only goal. I would be despotic. I would be the worst tyrant, but a positive tyrant. I wouldn't hurt you, but I would do everything in my power to make my country better. But I wouldn't hurt you. You believe me when I tell you that? Now, there's this thing called the active denial system. It is real. Listen to this. Tell me this isn't space age. A silent, directed energy weapon. Now, in my world, in the conspiratorium, which I talk about a lot.
I told you.
When you say DEW, directed energy weapon.
DARPA
you know what
invented
that
the
is?
internet.
I know
He just said it too, right?
You know
I
what
told
that is.
you.
Yeah, I can tell. If you're part, say, I just asked a few questions. You know what that is? Uh-huh. And you knew about DARPA, didn't you? Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
See,
I did.
I know where you are.
Computer science major. I studied DARPA.
I know. It's like all of a sudden in the 70s and 80s, when somebody all of a sudden could, these people who used to roll their own cigarettes, and you think, I think this person's had practice elsewhere.
Unix?
You know what I mean?
Predecessor
Linux?
Linux?
A little bit too much. He's a part of the
Bell Labs
and
and
who? If you're a
DARPA.
sports person, and you talk to somebody about sports, you can tell immediately whether they know what they're talking about. They'll say something. I can tell if I'm talking to a lawyer. If there's a certain lingo, a jargon. Well, the active denial system is a very real thing. It's a silent, directed energy weapon. By the way, directed energy weapon has been responsible for, according to some, I don't subscribe to this, for the selling
exactly. They invented
of
all
the
that.
Twin Towers
TCP.
and Building 7.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not me, but it's been going around
the
for a
original
long
network was
time.
4 computers.
Dr.
4
Judy
sites.
In any event, A silent directed
4
energy
sites
weapon
with the original internet.
with DARPA fingerprints all over it. It was built to override the human nervous system. Now listen to this. There's a crowd. I say, bring it out. The ADS, the Active Denial System. I love the name of this. Bring it out, boys. Okay, I'll do it. And it's designed and built to override the human nervous system by convincing your body that it's being burned alive from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it triggers panic, paralysis, vomiting, loss of motor control, and collapse without bullets,
and diarrhea,
sound, marks.
Yeah, diarrhea too, by the way, diarrhea.
Nothing. It's the perfect weapon if you don't want to
lose all bodily functions
or provide any accountability. Now, the U.S. military admitted it was too unpredictable for Iraq. That during the D.C. protests, there were reportedly discussions about domestic use, which is a moment that showed how fast extreme battlefield technology can move from foreign war zones to civil streets once it leaves no blood, no proof, and no accountability. Are you hearing me? This isn't sci-fi. This is now. This changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Venezuela. Guards tied to the Maduro operation described as sudden invisible force, a crushing pressure in the skull, nosebleeds, vomiting blood, bodies dropping instantly, people unable to stand or move afterwards, no shots fired, no gas, no explosions, no explanation, just human systems failing all at once, like someone flipped a switch on their biology. They call it non-lethal. They call it just heat. No lasting effects. That's exactly how you describe a weapon designed for quiet use. You see, when you want compliance without martyrs or injuries without proof and control without headlines, DARPA doesn't build deterrence. It builds future enforcement systems. And systems like this don't get shelved. They get smaller and quieter and harder to detect. If invisible weapons already exist that can shut the human body down on command, the real terror isn't whether they'll be used, it's how many times they've already been used. You see, this is the part, this is so critical. My friends, look no further. What is going on, what DARPA and what has been around is phenomenal. Did you know there was a device to help you read minds? Is that possible? Is that possible? Think about that. Is that possible? There was a story a while back. There was a fellow named Philip Corso. Now, whenever you tell somebody, remember something. In the United States of America, my country, 'tis of thee, we are absolutely mentally retarded when it comes to anything involving UFOs, UAPs, EBEs, extraterrestrial biological entities. We just don't. We just think it's ridiculous. Nobody will take it seriously. Everybody be talking a little bit about that. But what we've learned from this is unbelievable, and we don't want. The reason why it's so quiet is that we don't want other countries and bad people that we call bad to know about it. There's something to do with keeping it from you. It's keeping it from our enemies. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you following this? It's the most fascinating thing in the world. Now,
exactly.
You're going to see this, and you're going to hear people complain about things that are absolutely. They're going to complain. You're going to say, "Well, does it hurt you?" Well, it hurts me. Does it cause me permanent damage? No. Remember the old days? Police used to talk about this. I talked to an old NYPD cop. It's everybody knows it. If they want to bounce you around a little bit, they take a phone book and a lead pipe. They put the phone book in your head and then slam the phone book with a lead pipe. Don't leave any marks on you. But there's a bit of a concussion. You see, that's what I do. I want to ask you a question. Very, very simply. I'm not kidding. Alan Dershowitz said this years ago, and I agree with him to an extent. One day there will be torture warrants. you'll be able to go to a very quick, kind of a FISA court, very emergency, and you're gonna say, I need to find the answer out to somebody who is being rather he's not very responsive. He's being recalcitrant. Let me say that, and I've got to get this information out. They will take this warrant to say you may conduct, and whatever it's ordered, they will violate it. But you can conduct a minimal, sustained, but period of induced pain, torture to get an answer out of somebody. Let me tell you one of the biggest myths ever. They say torture doesn't work. Really? Yeah, they'll just say whatever they want just to make you stop. Really? Yeah, it doesn't work. Really? Yeah, how do you know? Well, have you done it before? It works, if done correctly. And the best kind of torture is torture that doesn't leave a mark. My friends, this evening, this morning, wherever this is, I'm going to take you on a little path. I'm going to take you down the road, we're going to walk by the river, and I want to introduce you to things that are so interesting, and they're real. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's real. Conspiracy theory, just don't even use the word. Nobody uses the word correctly anymore. It means nothing. It's like the word racist or anti-Semitic or, transphobic. It's just a word we just throw out when we don't really know what it is that we're talking about. Let me first remind you, this is Lionel, and this is The Other Side of Midnight.
The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was reading about that today, about the sonic weapon that they use on Venezuela. So when they went to get Maduro, apparently some of the closest guards, of course, some of them were from Cuba. I guess they had like a so-called elite force or whatever. There was no challenge for the U.S. But apparently some of them, I don't know which. I mean, they did kill a few of them. I think the toll was about almost 40 Venezuelans that were probably more than that, but I'm talking about in terms of the close guards. But I think that there was another before they got to the close guard, before they got to Maduro, basically there was another wave, the first wave, and I think that's when they used the sonic weapon. And now what it does, it disables, the and what we've been hearing, all those symptoms, whatever. And this is not the first time this happened. Actually, years ago, there was accusations that the Cubans were doing that to Americans in Cuba. They were doing that to some Americans, like diplomats and all that. This is, of course, during the Obama time. We had a temporary, they were trying to reestablish, relations with Cuba. This is under Obama. Supposedly, there was like a temporary embassy or whatever, or something like that. And apparently, supposedly, the Cubans were doing that. Cuban government, should I say. They had their own, of course, it's probably Russian. Most likely it is Russian technology that made people sick, like nauseous and all that. Supposedly some kind of beam. So I know if they're doing that, we definitely have all that. I mean, I heard about all this stuff for years, about non-lethal weapons, and some of it is basically ultrasonic. Yeah, even going back to Nazi Germany, exactly. In 1942, exactly. Yeah, this goes way back. And a lot of it is ultrasonic. The same thing that basically similar to what they use for, and once, when the dogs are barking and you blow that whistle or whatever it is, or that tone, and it kind of annoys the dog and it shuts them up. Something like that, but for humans.
Fantastic. It's one one of these things which is so interesting to me because I love technology, and I love how when technology, basically interesting, that technology takes on its own kind of its own genius. Do you remember, are any of you fellows proficient with weapons, any kind of firearms, pistols, things like that? I want you to imagine when somebody went from the flintlock to the repeating rifle. You know what that did? That was like, imagine a world without a microwave. You know what a microwave does? Microwaves are, I know people say, I don't have a microwave. You don't have a microwave. Well, they're not good. There's nothing about the microwave. It's internal vibration of stop it. Don't go all Bobby Kennedy on them. How people don't. But it went from the flintlock. And somebody says, I've got an idea. Let's do a repeating rifle. What? People wept. And little things, too. Smokeless ammunition, smokeless powder. Whenever they had Civil War battles, you know what the biggest problem was? They couldn't see anything. The smoke, and there's like, somebody's got to fix this. It's the design. It's the design. Little things make such a difference. It's incredible for warfare. One time they asked a question. They asked a bunch of Civil War generals and the like, what would have been the thing, the item, the implementation, the device that would have made the biggest difference in World War II? I thought they would say things like, artillery or planes. He goes, no, a walkie-talkie. They didn't know what anything was. They were sending a scout out. Imagine being a scout. You walk, there they are, and you turn around, you got to go back and say, I found them. Where? Over yonder. So things always came along. And then in the world of the revolver came the 1911, the Browning Colt, well, it's ridiculous, it was oxymoronic. The Browning 45, then it became Colt, but it was a Browning M1911. The year was 1911. And that semi-automatic design is still in effect today. It was the most important piece of design ever. The semi-automatic. When they say automatic, it was a 45 caliber automatic. No, it's not. Automatic is as soon as you pull the trigger, it just empties the magazine or the belt. No.
We call it the government 1911.
Well, DARPA came along and they say, we have some things. They come up with ways to kill people. But then somebody says, we have better things. We have ways that are non-lethal. The active denial system, which is going on right now, supposedly, as some people say, a directed energy weapon developed for crowd control. It fires a
and of course we have lasers.
A focused beam.
You know we have lasers
of 95 gigahertz millimeter waves that penetrates about 1/64th of an inch into human skin, rapidly heating the outer nerve ending.
Well, we know that.
Wouldn't you love to have one of these in your pocket?
Yeah, the Gatling gun. That goes back to the Civil War.
Give me your money.
Gatling gun.
Sure. Here we go.
Oh, the chain gun. Chain gun. They used to call it the chain gun.
It feels like he's on fire. It feels like he's boiling.
Right, the chain gun.
It feels like an intense burning sensation that forces people to move away instinctively. It doesn't cook you, but your brain screams. Then there's other great DARPAs. How about next to a directed energy weapons? By the way, microwave laser systems designed to disable electronics, drones, vehicles, grids. The concern is escalation, directed energy weapons. How about acoustic weapons, LRADs, using focused sound waves to cause pain,
LRAD, that's what it's called, LRAD.
Disorientation, or nausea, used in crowd control. Documented cases of hearing damage exist. Well, that happens. How about this? Neurological and cognitive warfare research. DARPA openly funds research into how stress, sound, light, and electromagnetic exposure affect cognition and behavior. It's officially defensive, but critics see a slippery slope. Then autonomous and AI-assisted weapons. Oh, my God. Systems that identify and engage targets with minimal human input. The fear isn't Skynet. It is error, bias, and deniability. Let me go a step further. Let's assume
because we have figured out every conceivable aspects of our genetic makeup. Do you know that there's 23 pairs of chromosomes, and that kind of thing. It's that last pair that matters. Because we share all of our DNA with 99% of everybody, but it's that 1%. Not the autonomous, but the sex-based. In any event, let's assume that because of research, and Bobby Kennedy was talking about this before they took it out of proportion. What if I said, we found something here? Why? Well, out of the years and years of people submitting their DNA to this 23andMe, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't fall for that. Hey, look, I'm Irish. Okay, thank you. Now they've got your DNA, but basically they have you. In any event. What if I'm able to find out we are able to do something
with that shit? That
of all of the people that have identified
family
themselves
tree
as
shit and send your DNA, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit.
Lesbian.
I'm never doing that shit.
See, a lot of people have this. The problem with this, they look at this dear woman who was killed, and they look at her as being rough and gruff and butch and masculine, and it's her looks.
I ain't doing that shit.
They talk about her looks. If she looks like Betty Friedan, listen to me. They would say, "Oh my God, that's a tragedy." You know, and I know that that's true. But let's assume that somebody says, we need to figure out some way to get at these crazy, white, liberal lesbians. Please, not my idea. Let's say somebody says that's what they want to do. Why? Because the people there are important. By the way,
that DNA shit is scary.
I will say this about these.
They can plant shit on you.
You ever see any black folks there? You ever see any black folks?
That's the only thing I think about DNA. They could plant shit on people.
Oh, there's one or two, but you ever see them? Why don't black folks seem to have any kind of a connection with this? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? No. It's always the same people over and over. And there is this Karen type. Mr. Blaze and I know all about these Karen types. These are very, very strange. But what if I figured out, I know that all of these people that have identified themselves as being lesbians, let's just assume this, I know what their genetic makeup is. And I'm able to target them either chemically or through some. Let's just assume that we can say, I can hit people with a sound. I know this sounds completely nuts, but maybe there's a chemical or a vaccine or a virus or something that only affects certain people of a certain genetic makeup, of a certain morphology, physiognomy, genetic makeup, because you have given me your DNA, and you've also told me about yourself. So if we've got, let's say, a problem with Iranians, Persians versus Arabs, we can just drop a little something in the water, and it will affect only Persians. Why? Yeah. Because we know their karyotype and we know their background. And this is what Bobby Kennedy was talking about when they called him anti-Semitic, which was so stupid. It doesn't even matter. But anyway, see where I'm going with this? There's so much
I heard that the other day about Chinese.
There is so much. And guess what? Philip Corso, who wrote the book,
Chinese had this technology, supposedly.
The day after
he's supposed to make,
and they're making him out to be a
women
lunatic,
in America infertile.
When we did in 1947,
so basically they can kill off the population.
A lot of these.
In other words, we won't be able to produce any more in this country.
Seem to, for whatever reason, crash.
And eventually they'll invade this country.
Or throughout the years, they thought maybe Roswell might have either because the night of Roswell,
I heard this on the radio about
because of the lightning or radar jamming or something. I don't know, but.
Infertile, like some kind of.
We're able to reverse engineer, and then we got, for example,
I don't know if it's a virus or some kind of infertile
from them.
To make American women infertile.
Where the transistor came from.
Fiber in other words, no more American children.
The idea of
so eventually our population goes down,
lenses of their
and
eyes.
We get invaded.
And then this thing called telepathy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Telepathy. Have you seen these devices where somebody, an amputee, has a device on the table not connected to him, but somehow connected him through some kind of weird cosmic thing. And he thinks, he blinks, he imagines, he looks at it, and he can make it open and close its fist, and it's not connected to him. He's thinking this. It's telepathic.
No more.
You know what I can do if I can affect people telepathically?
Mind over matter is fact.
And what does that feel like to speak to someone telepathically?
It's now a fact, right? Mind over matter.
I'm talking about weapons.
You ever seen the movie Lawnmower Man?
Supposedly, the idea of
Remember
some
that
of
movie?
these
I never seen it. It's a good movie, though.
extraterrestrial types that were looked at and investigated. And, you know, what am I trying to say?
So he takes
Imagine this: you walk into a room.
He takes a kid that's like, you know,
like you were walking into a yacht.
Below average intelligence.
I'm sorry, you're so vain. But you walk in, and all of a sudden,
and he
I'm
makes him into like a genius. Eventually, he
what does that feel like?
He surpasses him in IQ and all that knowledge, to the point where he starts doing, you know,
but my mouth isn't.
He becomes like
but you're not
digital.
hearing anything. You're feeling it. I am.
And he wants to take over the world
with you
by connecting to the mainframe
without saying a word, without you hearing.
So he got to the point where he actually did
Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Stop.
So he got to the point where he started doing levitation and
anywhere when in the world,
telepathy.
Any human being, if I want to
say, so he surpassed Pierce Brosnan.
That particular thing back there,
and he could read his mind and all that. Oh, so you saw it? Okay, yeah, I saw Lawnmower Man a few times. Yeah,
I don't have to say anything.
They made a part 2, but I never saw part 2.
I just think it. I want it.
But
and
definitely, that was a good movie. That was definitely a good movie. I love that movie.
There was a story.
It just makes you think, you know.
Again, when I tell people this is why I stay away from it, because people just refute me. It's ridiculous.
Some of it is pretty accurate, like the subliminal stuff.
Just get that out of your system.
It is pretty good because I do. I studied a lot of subliminal stuff.
She was a nurse, and the story was that she went
years ago. Like I would.
She was called to lend some type of medical support
music,
for one of these
I would study certain things
that had landed.
Actually, retains your knowledge faster.
Obviously, was still alive. She walked into this. Entered this
and of course, certain games you play actually makes
she knew this thing was talking.
Learn a particular
she said
thing.
It was a feeling.
I'm going to talk about that soon because I want to learn CW and I saw a particular app.
Life. Never.
I saw a couple of them, but one particular app really caught my attention. I started playing with it and I started learning right away.
But I don't hear any voice. It's not a language. And the reason why they're saying that when you look at these real tiny mouths in all of these,
and if you play a game about learning something, you actually learn faster than just reading.
Because it doesn't. Two things many people posit. One, you do not communicate through the vocal cord. That means you don't have accents. And
basically subliminal stuff.
Babies can learn to communicate telepathically. There's no such thing as an accent, as language. You don't have to speak. You don't have to say anything. How this works and how you can prevent thoughts by getting a wrong number, like somebody's speaking to me, how you direct it to one person, do you block like all these capital, these long
there's also a film from
constantly.
Around 1980 called The Laugh of Heaven. I have not heard that. I need to look that one up then.
Anyway. So,
and speaking of subliminal,
be a part of this new world.
Coming soon, I got to talk about this.
Imagine that. There's no need anymore. No such thing as vocabulary or accent or where you're from or precision or any haughtiness in terms of your speech. You'll be able to talk to anybody.
Because there is something going on, and I really want to talk about this, but I'm going to make the video a little long.
Because they don't speak. But they also don't need to worry about eating because their power...
There's something I've been noticing for the last few years, but definitely...
In essence, a version of photosynthesis, something like that. No need for eating food.
But I'm writing a little intro about it. It's like a little cue cards.
Why would you want to choose something and eat and that sort of thing? So with that comes new weapons. Weapons that are able to do things we never thought possible.
It was a movie. It was only
weapons
shown
that can
twice on
induce
PBS.
confessions.
Okay. It's on YouTube.
Weapons that I'm telling you right now. Listen to what I'm saying. You are going to see Tesla wave directed energy weapons, whatever you want to call it, pointed, directed towards critical tectonic parts of the world out in the Pacific, and we're going to trigger an earthquake, which will trigger a tsunami. We will be able to wipe out huge swaths of coastline and the enemy whenever we want. We'll be able to change weather through geoengineering. We will metallize the atmosphere. We will also, over a period of time, listen to me carefully. Disregard what I'm saying at your peril. You will have spent your entire life ingesting more atomized nanoparticulate metals that you will become, in essence, a transistor yourself. You will be basically inhaling. Your pH will change. You will be a lightning rod. And then one day, when some evil, horrible person decides he's had enough of you, he goes to these 4G, 5G, 6G towers, cranks that baby up, and all of the people whose blood systems and whose their body chemistry is now susceptible, they become antennae for this directed radiation, and they zap you. Who knows? Maybe we can turn on cancers. Who knows? I want you to do me a favor. If your mind doesn't go crazy, if you're not teeming with fascination, if you don't see where this is going, you're not paying attention. Charlie's in a place called Cherry Hill. Charlie, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Lionel, thanks for taking my call. The DARPA organization, which I wanted to discuss with you, the one weapon you were talking about, I had heard about before, where you makes you feel like you're being cooked inside your brain. I had heard that in the Cuban embassy that they had done that, the CIA agents.
Remember that Cuba, what am I saying? That Cuba syndrome or Havana syndrome, Havana syndrome.
Havana syndrome. So that means other nations have these weapons too, correct?
I just talked about that before.
Absolutely.
That's just
I just talked about the Cuba thing. That's what they call the Cuba syndrome.
The two questions I have,
of course, HAARP is coming up. Weather control.
Where it makes you think you're cooking. Being cooked. I see the way ICE agents are being treated on TV. I'm sure you see the same thing.
Wait a minute. Are you saying there's some kind of video or televised mistreatment of ICE agents on television? Are you saying that you can see video or televised depictions of ICE agents being mistreated? You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious. They're yelling
when?
protesting.
Wait a minute. Where are they protesting?
Minneapolis or
about what? What are they protesting about?
The protesters are protesting against ICE being involved in their community, all doing their job. They're just protesting.
Well, it's not like they shot a woman or anything in a car.
Okay, well, you said you didn't want to talk about that.
All right, okay. Thank you so much for that. But the point is, and I thank you for that, this is the thing that people have to understand. When will you allow this or not allow this to happen? What is no good? Let me just explain. If you spend your life, with all due respect, just thinking of normal things and normal stuff, I've tried in vain to explain the horrors of AI. Horror. I've tried desperately. And I can't get it across. And AGI, Elon was talking about it. Artificial general intelligence, forget it. It's done. It's done. Well, let's go to Mitch in the Bronx. Here we go. Mitch is going to add his expertise. Mitch, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Thank you. Hello. I didn't know before I called that you didn't want to speak about the Minneapolis incident, but since I already committed myself, the reason I called was that From what I heard on news reports, after the woman was shot by the ICE agent, a man came over and identified himself as a medical doctor.
Yeah.
And he attempted to provide medical care, and the ICE agent said, I don't care. And he wouldn't let it. He stopped him from providing medical care.
Yes, this is live radio.
Not under arrest
This is WABC 770
whether
New York
that was
City.
justified or not, because I don't know if it was.
It's the Lionel
He
Show.
had to obstruct the doctor from providing emergency care for a person who's dying.
Well, the first question you got to ask is it true?
I don't know. I heard it on TV.
You heard it on TV?
I heard it on the news. The news.
Oh, the news? What news? Oh, the news.
Yeah. Let me tell you, though, I worked on an ambulance.
Hang on a second. Stop for a second. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're thinking like a civilian. Do you see any problem with somebody? You've got somebody there. This is a crime scene. A crime scene. And this woman is apparently fatally shot, and I don't know how severe it was, at least initially. And somebody comes up out of nowhere and says, hey, there's a guy named Mitch, claims to be a doctor. He wants to help. You're going to say, sure, come on in. Why? Well, he says he's a doctor. You don't see any possibility of somebody perhaps being a fool, somebody using some weird homeopath, or somebody finishing this woman off. You are releasing a crime scene. You are opening up a crime scene. And you're saying, come on in and look. Hey, I'm a nurse. The old expression is you're a doctor in the house. Think beyond your initial, because I know where you're going with that. They should arrest an ICE agent because he did. I don't know about it being true, but the idea of allowing a civilian to contaminate something. Have you ever heard about the Good Samaritan doctrine? Have you heard that one? The Good Samaritan doctrine it holds you harmless if you try to administer, let's say, first aid, when you are told at first, you know what, it might not be a good idea for people to do this, because what if something goes wrong? What if the first aid that was intended actually hurt somebody? What if they acted in good faith? So what this does is, in order to encourage people to help, the Good Samaritan doctrine, which has been around forever, holds you harmless if you, in good faith, try to administer faith. By the way, another one is, there's another version of this. Statutes that will provide you with limited liability immunity, so to speak. If, let's say, you're at a party or you're at home and one of your guests is having a drug overdose, and you want to pick up the phone and call 911, but you're afraid, wait a minute, they might hit me with aiding and abetting some type of illicit drug activity. They're going to test me. No. I think it was Bon Jovi. Was it Bon Jovi? Don't hold me to that, but I think there was somebody whose daughter or somebody was alive because of this waiver. So you got to ask yourself the question, what about the other implications? Max in Manhattan. Max?
Yes, Lionel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for taking my call.
Anytime.
Indeed,
there was a guy by the name of Igor Witowski, and he wrote a book about the Luftwaffe and all these Nazi inventions. In it, he makes mention of the night vision glasses.
Yes.
Many different types of those. There's also, when you were touching on the subject of tectonic plates.
Yes.
There was rumor of that occurring when Indonesia had its big tsunami, if you remember.
Indeed.
And the writer who wrote about it, well, maybe there have been many writers, but we also have Umberto Eco, who wrote Foucault's Pendulum. Mm-hmm. And in it, he speaks about the different disparate groups that splintered off of during the Templars' fall, and how it spread around the world. And the intent out of all these groups getting together was to create these sort of tectonic movements on a whim.
You know, Max, what you speak about, which is even more important, there are some things that are inherent in our DNA. And one of them is the ability or the desire to want to control weather. to be able to, by virtue of ceremony or dance or potions or prayer, to change weather, the outcomes, health, alchemy, things that have, there are things about humans. Have you ever thought about humans have this incredible need to dance? I don't have that. I believe in Cicero, who said, no sane man will dance. But there are things that we do. So, and you mentioned the Knights Templar. I was like, ooh, the Illuminati was real. You know that. People laugh at this. The very it was...
Adam White's house.
Pardon me?
1776, Adam White's house.
Right. It was very, very real. But there are people who are told that they must always dismiss all of this. So what I'm saying is there are some aspects that are so fascinating to me. And one of the things which invariably happens is we take some of our best minds and we decide to kill people. The nuclear bomb, the idea of this, so pernicious, so awful, but it had to be done. At Albert Einstein, the pacifist, who basically, along with Szilard, had this letter he was going to give to, Szilard was going to give it to FDR. This is, please, we have to do this now. This is Einstein, because if we don't do it, he's going to do it. And think about where that goes. This is what a lot of people in big tech in Silicon Valley are doing. That's what AI is about. People are saying, you can't stop this. There's no moratorium. There's no stopping this. We've got to own this quickly and hope to God that the bad guys don't get a hold of this. That's reality.
We might be able to do something about it if we all woke up, but 3/4 of the world is asleep or numb. So that doesn't look.
I've got a bigger problem. Do you know how few people on the planet in history actually changed the course of history? Either because of science, because of only a few people were so brilliant that their genius, through their knowledge of physics or chemistry or whatever, could change things. Most people, and I want to be nice, most people are negligible, contribute nothing to society other than their own particular progeny, which is fine. They go to work and they build the infrastructure, but there are very, very few people in charge of everything. The number of people in charge of finance, the number of people who are in charge of war, the number of people the number of people, think about this. You might be, and this is why compartmentalization is so important, there are people on this planet who might be one of two people who know of something. There are these wonderful theories that levels of secrecy, the zebras, the cobras, the ultras, the I think zebras like the highest. When you see those 5 letters, and these are the people who answer to no one. President Trump does not have the highest top secret clearance. In fact, top secret is at the bottom. This is beyond that. In order for you to appreciate what I'm saying, you have to rewrite everything you thought about order, rules, science, like Men in Black humanity, compassion. Men in Black level. You have to change it. Because right now, I think that shit is real, Men in Black. Take all of your passivity or passiveness or whatever it is and move it aside. I basically am anti-war. I think that's kind of real, though. Like, I'm not a Quaker. When I go downtown, I see the Verizon building. I've been talking to some friends of mine. It's just a building with no windows. And they said, "What do you think about Russia? What do you think about I was wondering, that's Men in Black Venezuela and Iran?" And I said, "You know what? On paper, I see your point, but there's a problem." In practical terms, sometimes you have to show people that you've got more guns, flushed out in Times Square, and more lethality than they do. Period.
The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
So over
Every
here.
time the Fed prints more money.
Yeah. Yeah, I swear to God, by the Brooklyn Bridge, when you go downtown, I go downtown, by the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a building, right? It has no windows. It's a tall building. It's a Verizon building. Is there a lot of communications, whatever, Verizon. Who knows what's in that building? But I always look at that building like Men in Black. There's something going on in that building that they don't want nobody to know what's going on in there. And then, of course, when I saw the movie, and remember they had that episode, well, the part of the movie where they were like invaded, whatever, and they had to get out of there fast, so they flushed themselves, and they wind up in Times Square or something. But that building always made me think about that. Like, there's something else going on in that building. Why am I going on this side? It's right here. So I think about Men in Black. It's by the Brooklyn Bridge. When you go, it's right there in Manhattan. When you go crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, it's a tall building, but there's no windows. It got no windows, nothing. It's Verizon. But I'm like, yeah, this is some other shit going on in that building.
$1 million to free the George Floyd rioters. When the bail was returned, Dickerson apparently pocketed the returned bail checks into her personal account to the tune of $3.15 million. She allegedly used the money to pay for luxury vacations, retail shopping, $50,000 in food, a vehicle, and 6 rental properties in Oklahoma City. I bet you today the defense is going to be, yes, racism.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
Well, there you go. Copyright, but that's okay. You know what? I'll take it tonight. I just want the views. She's a runaway. You're a little runaway.
How many Lionel with you? I wish I had more time to listen to the lyrics. 800-848-9222. Bill in Minneapolis. Bill, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Yes. Yes, Lionel, we do have the technology to communicate without speaking. It's called texting. And the transistor isn't
heavy, man, heavy.
Reversed and yeah. And the transistor wasn't reverse engineering alien technology. You're going to need a lot more than transistors to get from wherever they were, unless they're living on the moon. We got to the moon with transistors.
Let me go back to your thing about texting.
Yeah.
Are you serious when you say, here's a way for us to communicate without speaking? It's called whispering, or some other variation. It's called writing. It's called pictographs. It's like, yeah. Where did that one go? I mean, what was your idea behind that point to be made? That we can text, so therefore what? What does that mean?
Well, you were saying if we could only communicate, if we had this ability to communicate telepathically, right?
Yeah.
And then you said without speaking.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You really aren't taking this literally, are you? You're not just saying, oh, speaking. You never say anything about writing. You never say anything about Morse code.
No. Right. I didn't say anything about those.
Right. But texting is basically writing. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's writing. Okay. Alrighty. Now, aside from that, that's good. Let me go back into this. Imagine. This is where people get into problems because they hate to imagine. Because why? When you go to school, people say, Johnny is looking out the window. He's daydreaming. That's a good idea. What would the world of radio sound like if we could send things out telepathically? Think about that. What would be if we had something where you don't need to have any kind of a device or an app or anything? It just finds you. You're able to tune in. Why can't I broadcast telepathic thought? Would people say to themselves, what would happen to music? What would happen to concerts? Would people say, there's something about communal hearing that is important? I want you to open your mind. Now, coming up, the latest. Do you know this week alone, as we talked about this stupid story over and over. She took the SUV like this, and he turned to the left, and then, okay, I got it. It's mind-numbing. You know how many stories this week alone were involving UFOs and that sort of thing? Just to go to show you, because we live in a world of only one subject at a time. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to break you of that. Coming up, stories that you did not hear, and you're going to say, but why? And I'll tell you what. Stay tuned.
The 77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Anjuli and Gentili chime time is 1:59.
The Staten Island law firm of Anjuli and Gentili, helping people just like you for 40 years. Walk with confidence. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
Clear skies on this Tuesday, January 13th. Good morning, I'm Lisa Ritchie. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is accusing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey of inflaming the public following last week's deadly shooting. Tammy Trujillo has more.
Noem made the comment during an appearance on CNN's State of the Union.
They've encouraged the kind of destruction and violence that we've seen in Minneapolis the last several days, and I would encourage them to grow up, get some maturity, act like people who are responsible, who want people to be safe.
Her comments come as large protests were held in many major cities across the country in response to the fatal shooting in Minneapolis, as well as the recent Border Patrol shooting in Portland. In a statement, the organizers claim both shootings are part of a deeply alarming pattern of unchecked violence and abuse by federal immigration enforcement agencies. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
A federal judge is blocking the Trump administration from freezing around $10 billion in child care and social services funding. Jim Roop has more.
The temporary order issued directs the administration to release the funds to 5 Democrat-led states. This after those states filed a lawsuit against the administration over the funding freeze. The order instructs the administration to disperse the funds for 2 weeks while the legal challenge continues. The states in question include Minnesota, California, New York, Illinois, and Colorado. I'm Jim Roop.
Nobel Peace Prize organizers say Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado cannot share her award. Michael Kastner has the story.
Machado has expressed a desire to give her award to President Trump after she won the prize in October. She's expected to be in the U.S. this week and meet with Trump for the first time. The meeting follows the January 3rd military operation to remove Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro from power and bring him to New York for federal drug trafficking charges. The Norwegian Nobel Committee and Norwegian Nobel Institute have warned the award cannot be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. I'm Michael Kastner.
Nurses at 3 major New York City hospitals are on strike today. Darla is a registered nurse who's on strike.
We have to fight for this contract. It's scary to know, like, the things you want to be easily taken away.
The nurses' union is demanding higher pay, better health care coverage, and safer working conditions. The hospitals have hired temporary nurses to take the place of those who are striking. A New York federal judge is reversing course over Luigi Mangioni's backpack. Judge Margaret Garnett first said a hearing was unnecessary on whether what Pennsylvania police say they found inside should be allowed at trial. Authorities say the alleged healthcare CEO killer's backpack contained a gun, a silencer, and a so-called manifesto. Monday, the judge said there should be a brief evidentiary hearing because of the seriousness of the charges that Mangione is facing. Police say they have few leads on a teen who went missing in New Jersey just before Christmas. Noam Layden reports.
A Weehawken, New Jersey family desperately hoping someone has seen their missing teenage son, Emilio Acosta, last seen leaving his family's home just after midnight back on December 18th.
It's been over 3 weeks and we have not heard from him since. We asked the community to take a close look at his picture, and if they see him communicating
worst nightmare.
Police Department.
The family believes Emilio was experiencing a mental health crisis at the time he disappeared. Last time he was seen was in Secaucus near the American Dream Mall. Noam Layton, WABC News.
Actor Timothée Chalamet is a 2026 Golden Globe winner.
Well, my dad instilled in me a spirit of gratitude growing up. Always be grateful for what you have. It's allowed me to leave this ceremony in the past empty-handed, my head held high, grateful just to be here. I'd be lying if I didn't say those moments didn't make this moment that much sweeter. For my parents, for my partner, I love you. Thank you so much.
Chalamet won the award for his role in Marty Supreme. WABC owner-operator John Catsimatidis also has a role in the film. In sports, the Giants are still searching for a new head coach. They've requested to interview current Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula, former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, and Falcons head coach Raheem Morris are also among the candidates. Your forecast: overnight clearing skies with a low down to 36 degrees. Later today, increasing cloudiness, breezy with a high of 46. Wednesday looks mostly cloudy with a high again 46 degrees. Partly cloudy skies outside of our Midtown studios. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
And friends in the morning.
Tuesday morning, folks. Tuesdays with Sid. Remember, Big Show Brigitte Gabriel stopping by today. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Also, Bo Deal, who's got a big event in the city. I'm going to later on. Surprise guests along the way. Tuesday edition. Sid and Friends in the morning.
Listen anytime. 77WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app. Keeping you up to date with the news and information you need. You can trust Talk Radio 77 WABC. This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
With Lionel.
Of this thing of ours and a show called Other Side of Midnight. And I want to do a recap of what's going on here. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I think it's fascinating, and it's boring. A lot of it is boring. And I'm sorry to say that. I know I shouldn't say that, but I'm saying that. A lot of this stuff that we hear sometimes is just boring. And what it is it's the same, the story's interesting, but we get stuck at an angle. For example, the story involving this good lady, there's nothing left. You ever had an oxtail? You know what oxtails are? A rabo for my Cuban friends. You take the oxtail and you take the meat and then you suck the rest of it. There's a little hole in the bone. You suck the juice out of the bone. Then you pull the top of the little piece of the cartilage at the top, which is the cap, kind of like the vertebral cushion, and then you suck that. And eventually you say, there's nothing here anymore. And you throw it to the dog, and the dog says, what is this? That's the story. The ice story has been sucked dry. There's nothing new. There's no angle to it. There's no, I don't know what the word is.
Like CBS.
There's nothing to it.
Like when I see YouTube,
But
I see
recommendation.
recommendation.
Or all of the ancillaries.
Another video release.
And the ancillaries,
CBS,
the
it's
attendant stories, the stories.
This is stupid.
Please, in no particular order.
It really is stupid.
I want people to understand something, and I want President Trump to understand something, and I love the guy, but he's finally catching on regarding Pam Bondi. I don't know what took him so long. Christy Noam is not Noam is not up for this. She is too much. You can see it into being with the hair extensions and the cap and look at me and I'm sorry. If you can't see that,
Ice
just
Barbie.
like if you can't see that Erica
That's what
Kirk
we call her, Ice Barbie.
is part of some LARP, which is for those who are really into this stuff, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
There is such a level of unsophistication that has been inculcated into the spirit of this country by virtue of years and years of this
same thing with Erica Kirk.
Mockingbird media garbage.
For a widow, she's
where
really,
you're not able to really
out there
think and
every
analyze
freaking
on
day.
your own. Let me proceed.
You would think a grieving widow would
One
just
thing
go away and
that you have to understand.
Mourn in peace, you know?
When you have a child,
she's always in front of a camera, and now they want to do that
and
Super
your
Bowl
child
crap.
is doing something
A Super Bowl
annoying,
halftime show with
there's
Erica
a couple of
Kirk.
things you can do. One, you can try to punish the child and extinguish the
I hate to
behavior
say it,
by that
you know,
way,
I think
by
she
putting
really,
them causing something adverse or
I don't say
aversive.
she's part of it, but
Number two, you can use kind of an
I
opera
don't know,
conditioning
like,
where you can kind of shape and mold the behavior into trying to go for
here we go.
a
I'm
different
going to go on a
reward
tangent. Here we go.
vector.
Here we
You can
go.
say, well, you know,
I keep going
if
on this
we
side.
stop
I'm used to the XH data. Yeah, talk about Erica Kirk. Right? I went down that rabbit hole on X. And you know, before she met Charlie, she was a model. She was just a model. She was a model. She posed a whole bunch of pictures. You can look it up. It's out there. You know, she posed bikini, whatever. She posed all this stuff. She was just a model. She was not no, you know, intellectual, whatever. She was just a freaking model. A model. That's it. You know. And of course, Charlie Kirk, you know, when he met her, you know, I guess, you know, he got P-whipped, whatever. Of course, they got married. They had children. Of course, we know what happened to him. He got killed. He got assassinated back in September. But right now, she's acting like, you know, nobody knew about her before. People knew like, okay, that's his wife. That was it. She was in the background. But then, of course, when he got killed, she came front and center. She's like the limelight now. So this is like the biggest fame she's getting now. You know me, I'm skeptic. I'm a skeptic. I'm a freaking skeptic and a half. So right now, I'm gonna say it. People don't like it. I don't care. She is milking this fame. She's milking it. There's no other way. A grieving widow, whatever. Yeah, whatever. You know, the keys to the kingdom. You know, whatever. I don't know. TP. You know, Turning Point USA is how much it's worth, but it's millions of dollars. If we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Okay, so she just got the keys to the kingdom. Plus, I think they raised a lot of money, GoFundMe and all that other stuff. You know, she went from a model to the wife of Charlie Kirk to now she's rich. She's rich. And of course, you know, they you know, I don't know who came up with that stupid idea about, oh, we should just keep, you know, because this is in memory. You know, I'm going to sound all politically incorrect here. I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. My truth. You know, something like that, I would just say, you know what? That was his podcast, his thing. How can you replace him? They should have just let it be. Do a memorial video, and then you know what? That's it. But no, because you know we want to preserve the memory of TP USA. Let's make her the CEO. Are you kidding me? The minute I heard that shit, I knew it was a money grab. That's a money now. That's what I'm saying. At this point now, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. That's what it is. So now she has the keys to the kingdom. Of course, it's a money grab. She's making a lot of money off of this shit now. And she goes up there, you know, the crime routine gets old with the tapping of the tissues under your eyes, This shit gets old. It gets old after a while. After a while, you say, okay, this fucking bitch is milking this shit now. Fuck the grieving widow shit. I'm sorry. She is fucking milking that shit now. She is milking it. And that's my opinion. She is milking that shit. Of course, they're going to do this alternate Super Bowl thing because, you know, Bad Bunny is going to be in a Super Bowl halftime show. So they already came out with a all-American Super Bowl halftime. Who's leading it? She is. And all it is, I'm going to say all it is just a money grab. It's a money grab. She's just going to make that money, get her 15 minutes of fame until everything dries up in about a year or so. And that's it. That's all it is right now. You make that money now. Make that money. Live off your husband's death. If I'm being cruel, you know what? Sue me. I don't care. But that's my opinion. She is milking that shit. You know, she was not an intellectual person when he met her. Okay, she was just a fucking model. Internet model. IG model. Okay, IG, Instagram. And there's even a picture of her with another man that's been out. I guess the man before Charlie Kirk. She was out there with another man. Pictures and all. It's all over. It's all over. Good. You can look it up. It's all over. Okay. And she's not my cup of tea, by the way, because when I seen the bikini pictures, she's the same person. She's a younger version of her. She has like her head is like a little too big for her body. You know, she got a tight body. Yeah, she got a tight body. But I feel like her head is a little too big. It's like a bobblehead doll. She always gave me that bobblehead doll vibes. Okay? And yeah, I'm going to say it like it is here. You know, people, you know, I'll criticize. And I'm saying that this woman right here right now, she's just milking this shit. And that's why Candace Owen called her out on it, all that shit. Now, if you're really grieving and you want privacy for your family, then why are you in front of fucking cameras every day? If you want privacy, if you're grieving, you know, anybody, I'm a YouTuber, right? I'm on YouTube. If I really wanted privacy and time for myself, then I take that time for myself. Then in other words, I'm not going to make videos. I'm not going to come live. I'm going to disappear for a while. That's what I would do. So when she says that, oh, I want privacy for me and my family, and you going on all these news networks talking, and you're on the camera every fucking day, you're a hypocrite. I'm sorry. You love she's enjoying the fucking fame, and she's milking that shit for what it is. All right, so there you go. That's my fucking tangent, my little rant for tonight. But yeah, you know, when it comes to you know, Erica Kirk, she's as phony as a $3 bill. I'm sorry. There you go. Booyah.
We went from Wright brothers
grieving bullshit.
To one small step from it.
Fucking widow. Give me a fucking break.
What kind of a difference would a million years make in terms of a civilization that's been around a million years, and there might be a billion before that? Who knows?
There you go.
This I stop dead in my tracks when I think about this. The three-eye atlas, there's the astronomers now sparking debate about calling it interstellar objects and alien spacecraft. We've just forgotten about that one because it just kind of went nowhere. Skinwalker Ranch goes global. Paranormal investigators expand ranch-style mysteries worldwide. Have you heard about Skinwalker and that story? But here's the best one.
Blonde model. He's the CEO of Talk Point USA.
UFO
yeah,
research
okay.
presses on after
believe that. You know what?
Big 2025.
That's a money grab.
Science
That's all
is
it
still
is.
hunting for the unexplained.
Out of here, man. Come on, bro.
Next, public belief in aliens spikes as government talks UFOs and pop culture collide. Next, Occult King. A new book claims that Elvis believed he had supernatural powers and alien origins. Now, of course, people are going to laugh about that because they say,
first couple of days, I was like, oh my God.
You know who else did? Jackie Gleason, Ronald Reagan, others as well.
One more thing.
How about ufology?
Yeah. First couple of days, I was like, man, poor woman. She just lost her husband and 4 kids. And then after a while, she kept being on the camera over and over and over. And there was one appearance that she went up to the vice president and she ran her fingers through his hair, like to hug him. But she ran her fingers through his hair like something's going on between these two. Like, no woman runs her fingers through your hair like that. Unless there's something going on. Unless she really, is trying to, like I said, she's trying to turn you on. She's trying to do something. She ran her fingers through his hair. Go look it up. Now, she gave him a hug, but she ran her fingers through the back of his head, right into his hair. I'm the wife, I don't know what she was at, the second lady, but she did it right there in the stage in front of everybody. So I don't know if they have a secret thing going on, or she fantasizes about J.D. Vance now or something, or she's trying to, she got her sights set up on him because he might be the next president, who knows what. This woman is, I'm telling you right now, she give me the vibes that she's a gold digger. She's just gold digging right now. She played the I lost my husband. And now it's all about just the money. It's about the money, the fame. She's in front of the camera. She's the center of attention right now. The fame, let me tell you something, fame is an aphrodisiac for a lot of people. And when you get that fame, bro, you want to milk that shit. That's what people do. They want to milk that shit until there's nothing left. And that's what she's doing. She's going to milk that shit until, I keep going over here. I keep thinking this SH data. And that's what she's doing. She's just milking this shit for all the money is.
I'm dead serious. I have more to say. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Why? Because this is Lionel with you on the other side of midnight.
The other side of midnight with Lionel.
How can you make a difference to heal children that last for generations? Today, we'll continue our discussion with Stuart Sullivan, Chief Philanthropy Officer at Shriners Children's, regarding how to use a charitable bequest to build your legacy of providing compassionate specialty care to children at Shriners.
Anyway, they're on break right now. Yeah, so that's what happened to me. Like a month ago, it started really bothering me. Like, well, when I say bothering me, I don't mean, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like why is she always in the camera all the time? Like, I know it's already been a few months. Like, and then that's when, Candace Owens called her out, and I don't really care about Candace Owens. But she did call her out on that shit. And I actually, I was like, you know what? She's right. I say, you know what? She's right about that. If you want privacy and you don't want people going after you and your family, why are you out there every fucking day talking? Like, if you're going to I need privacy for me and my family, and you come after me. No, you need to go away. That's it. Go away for a while. Mourn your husband. Not be in front of cameras every fucking day. I'm sorry. I find that shit suspect. And then when you start seeing all the shit that she did before she met this guy, she was just a fucking Instagram model or whatever the fuck. She was a dumb, blonde bitch. That's all she was. I'm going to say it. I don't care. She was just a dumb, blonde bimbo. That's it. Okay? He met her. Yeah, she probably rocked this world. He got pee-whipped. And he married her. End of story. But now, of course, he's gone, and she's just milking this shit for what it is. She got the keys to the kingdom now. That's what it is. She just wants to fucking milk this shit. And, before you know it, she's going to be with somebody else. Remarry, whatever the fuck. But now she got a nice fucking, she got a little empire now. Because I don't know why people decided to make her the CEO of Turning Point USA. I mean, seriously. They should have just said, you know what? He ran it. That was his thing. We're going to honor him by, you know what? Maybe make another organization, but leave this one alone and let it be the way it is. That's it. Instead, no, we're going to make her CEO. She's going to take over. Like, no, you're not him. I've seen his videos. The man is he quick. He's witty. He's smart. He's a smart man. You're not him. You're not him. You're never gonna be him. Charlie Kirk was a smart man. He had a lot of common sense, and he was good with the comebacks. So you're not gonna be him. So why are you still trying to run the podcast and all that? And whatever, when they go to those colleges and talk to, you know what? Like, come on, like, cut it out. It's just, just to fucking milk the money. That's it. It's just a money grab. And I keep going on this side,
He's a wonderful man.
I see through that bitch. Believe me.
Military-industrial complex. He is MIC, baby.
And if you don't like my language, I'm sorry, but I see through that bitch.
The whole spear. Victoria Newland.
He just fucking money grab.
But just imagine. There was a
he just money grabbing
to YouTube. But
money grabbing the guy's death.
Over the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, this globe, this orb, and it flies, it hovers.
Shit, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I see.
And they even comment on it.
I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I see that shit 2 steps before most of you people see that shit.
Glow.
Us Puerto Ricans can smell scams.
Like state, some type of energy transition.
Or gold diggers.
That allows this particular type of appearance.
The fuck out of here.
You would see people. Imagine their own gnome lady going
money
out there.
Grabbing that fucking shit now.
With a microphone. Well, I'm here live, and yep, that's it, all right. And watch these critters say. Now listen.
Don't take my word for it. Go look it up.
Kind of an ad or something.
Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. Go look up her past.
Let's
just go look it up.
Let me show you how we do this. Ready? And the first thing will be the.
And by the way, she probably had OnlyFans back in the days too.
The people will say, "Wow."
Probably closed up the OnlyFans.
No
before she met this guy,
no ailerons, no nothing. It looks like it's.
She's all over the internet with her bikinis and all that.
Perfectly created this glow, this.
And I'm sure there's some nudes out there.
In space, turns on its side. So
come on, bro.
And all of a sudden, it just gone. And then back again. Pretty good, huh? What do you think about that?
We have a say in the ghetto. We have a say in the ghetto. I'm gonna do one more thing. We have a say in the ghetto. Here we go. When you meet somebody, and that question is gonna come up. How many guys you been with? When she says 2, you multiply that shit by 4. When she says 1, you multiply that shit by 4. That's the math that we do as guys in the ghetto. When a chick says, I only been with 1 guy, she's fucking lying. She's been with 4 guys. Always multiply that number by 4. When she says I've been with 6 guys, she's been with 24 guys. All right? Always multiply her answer by 4. Because they fucking lie about that shit, bro. Erica Kirk, bro. Come on, you kidding me? I guess he thought that maybe he was the second one. Because it's out there. There's pictures with other guys that she's been with. But that we know of. Because, they could have scrubbed all that shit years ago. So, and you look at her, she's attractive. She's her head is a little too big for me. She got a bobblehead. A thin, tight body, but a bobblehead. But the fact is that even back then when she was younger, she still had a tight body and all that. And she got a bobblehead. But let me tell you something. She not no Virgin Mary. They just put it like that. It's anything. When they talk about Christian, she wears a cross around her neck, she's Christian. No, that bitch been around. All right? I'm gonna say it like that. She's been around the block a few times. So, she told this guy, I've probably been with 2 guys in my life. No, she's probably been with 6 to 8 guys or whatever the fuck it is now. Get the fuck out of here.
The difference between nauseous and nauseated. Nauseated
might be an emotional reaction to something.
No.
Well,
that fucking pussy is like the Lincoln Tunnel, bro.
Correct word. It means
There you go. I said it
feel
right there,
sick.
bro.
If
Like
your
the
stomach
Lincoln
is
motherfucking
turning
tunnel.
You are about to lose your lunch. You are nauseated.
Booyah!
Now.
you're nauseated.
Now, nauseous means something that causes
Get the fuck out of here.
The smell of spoiled milk is
That's why
nauseous.
the Puerto
A
Rican
bad
in me
movie
says that bitch
can
been
be
around.
nauseous. A corrupt press conference can be nauseous.
You fucking milking
But what
that
you're
shit.
doing is when you say, I'm nauseous, that means I make people sick. So there you go. See, we all learned something. You'll never forget that as long as you live. Thanks to me, and you're welcome. Proceed, sir.
You were like my AI.
You get the entertainment here.
Then I was texting a friend, and I was
get a
doing
radio
something
show?
else in my mind
You get a rant?
on the engine of my car, and it felt like I split my brain in half, which is strange because it's never happened before. Doing two things at once. And one more thing.
What does that mean? Please explain that. You were...
Because I couldn't concentrate on both normally.
Uh-huh.
You know, have a conversation with her and also work on something in my brain.
So what happened when you...
Well, when I recognized that it was happening, it went away.
Okay. Not sure I understand what that means, but go ahead. It's interesting.
It went away. It stopped happening.
So you stopped thinking.
Exactly, yeah. I lost that ability to expand my brain power.
Or you just got bored. It's called getting bored. I'm not thinking about this anymore. Anyway, yes?
Something happened.
Alrighty, thank you. Riveting. I think the word is riveting. I think I'm horripilating. That's when the little hairs on your body stand up. They horripilate. I'm becoming rubescent. Well, that means red with blood. It's 1:30, by the way. What I'm trying to say is there are things, there are effects that are the most important. MK Ultra. MK Ultra. Tyler Robinson. Sirhan or Sirhan. I have more interest in who killed Bobby Kennedy than the entire Kennedy family combined, up to and including Bobby Jr. Nobody talks about it. He talks about Red Dye number 3.
Mind control.
But Thane Eugene Caesar, the guy who killed his father, nothing.
Let me see what's going on. Let me go to 680. Let me see if I can pick up 680. 680, sorry about my bad. Let me see. I'm going to try now, 680. Let me try some DX. Trying to get CJOB out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. If not, CFTR out of Toronto. I'll leave it there for a few minutes, see if it breaks through. Try right there. A little better right there. Oh, wow. It's coming in now. That's CJOB? It's coming in right now. Something's coming in. It's not Providence. It's definitely not Toronto because that's news radio. CFTR is global news. So there's definitely something else. I need to put a computer up in here. All right, so coast to coast. Okay. 680. Coast to coast on 680. Wow. I wish I could look it up. But I know in Canada, some places break coast to coast. Stations in Canada do play coast to coast also. But I don't think CJOB plays coast to coast. Yeah, that's coast to coast. On 680. Now, I know CJOB is news and talk, but I don't think that's CJOB. I'll come back to that.
Said that there were a lot of adjustments that he had to make that weren't.
There you go, 670.
Very short in his response, but he the coach. The offensive need to happen.
Let me narrow the bandwidth.
Yeah. Great. Their defense played well last night. And we don't know how long they're going to be with their defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, as I expect him to be at the top of a lot of teams today. In terms of being the next head coach. The Chargers are like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm thinking like, they're like the team, not that doesn't belong, but they're kind of just like background. If we know they're going to punch this ticket to the playoffs, we know they're going to have to fill up one of their slots in a wild card weekend, but I don't think anybody gave the Chargers a real shot of going on a postseason run. And I guess that's okay. 310-840-4910 is the number. We'll do it and close the show the way that we do every single night here on Westwood One Sports Night. We'll tag in the senior producer, Denton Day. So put the show to bed next.
Every team, every player, every story, every angle. This is Westwood One Sports.
What is Sports with Traded Life Market? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Market. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game, put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and shares swap trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. Never thought in a million years in the past 10 years life insurance the unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy.
That's really all.
out of North Bay, Ontario, Country 600, Canada.
Cancer in women.
Let me go back to 680. Alright, anyway. Back to ABC.
Like here the old days of the O.J. Simpson case when he was in Chicago, they said, Mr. Simpson, yes, I've got bad news. Your ex-wife has been murdered. He said, oh no, that's terrible. He never asked which one. It's two ex-wives. You see where it is? Now let me ask you something. I'm changing the subject a little bit, but let me just see if your critical thinking skills are any good. Is it possible that there are differences, significant, listen, obviously if they're insignificant, what's the point? But there are significant differences in, let's say, intellectual capabilities between races. Is that possible? Let's go a step further. Are there physiological differences? Physiognomy. Do the races look differently? Well, yes. I mean, sometimes, maybe not, but yes. Yes. Do you think Asians look different than, let's say, black, Negroes, or African American? What are you going to call it? Do you? Yes, they do. I asked somebody, I said, why are there any Cambodians on the NBA? Is it because they're presidents? He goes, no, because Cambodians are shorter. They don't fit in. So you're saying that there is a stature difference? Yes. So there are differences, right? Yes. You don't mind that, do you? No. You don't mind saying that Asians tend, on the most part, not to be as large in terms of height or girth or robust physiognomy as others? You believe that? Is that racist? No, that's an observation. Aha! So if there is a difference that makes people look different, why isn't there an acceptable difference that makes people think differently? Do you think that in some respects...
That's like when you watch these TikTok videos of the Somalian. They have a big forehead.
Propensity, if you will, for...
Like a real big forehead.
Not African American, African, in terms of musical,
like a light bulb.
Musical prowess. The lyricality, the spatial relationships of song sonority. As my friend Gary Lester would say. Do you think so? By virtue of the...
You got Somali head is like a light bulb.
Can you say that? Now,
he's narrow and then it goes big.
Black, you might say, well, yeah, because that's the popular trait. That's a
like the top of the skull is like inflated.
Let me ask you this. You know how we always talk about gay people? Gay this and gay that? Have you ever noticed how gay men, not all of them, but many of them, are so damn talented when it comes to certain types of aesthetic or artistic
I'm going to get in trouble, who cares?
Endeavors. Style, design, hair,
I'm going to get in trouble, who cares?
Fashion.
Yeah, like a freaking light bulb, bro.
Some of the greatest makeup designers are gay men. Now, why is that? Is it the male or is it the gay part? Then we have lesbian, as we say in Mishkina, the pobre. You don't see that necessarily as much in the prototypical. You see, this case of this woman who was dispatched in Minneapolis, she is what people consider to be the prototypical. This one caller I heard this evening on another show just spoke of them as like they're butch and dressed. Well, that's a portion of it. That's to an extent. But you don't see any. What is the talent there? What is the predisposition? What is it other than haircuts and flannel? What? I'm not trying to. I know I'm cliche. By the way, did you know this? You probably didn't know this. You know how there are all these different idiosyncratic kind of stereotypes associated with gay men? You know what this one which is associated with gay women? Subarus. Have you heard this one? There's a woman who's a gay lesbian, if you will, comic. Very funny.
Yeah, Subaru.
I didn't know. That's a stereotype. Let me ask you, gentlemen, where do stereotypes come from? Random? Do they come from nowhere? or do they come from a period of time of observation that is in great reason, you know? And why is it important? Because human beings look at tendencies. They look at patterns and traits. They have to learn in order to survive. That when it gets dark, at this time of the year, that means snow. And if it gets dark during the day, it means rain. Why? Because I've seen this a million times. I don't know the mechanism, but I do know pattern. So what I'm saying is, if you want to live in our politically correct world, you can't say anything that might be offensive. But if you want to be a sentient human being and scientifically prolific, you've got to observe everything. Let's go to Paul on Long Island, or the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
We're talking about a whole bunch of things. I wanted to speak about two things in general, which I think are the most important. You asked something about the Muslim. People don't know what they're about. Technically, if anybody reads the Old Testament, King James Version, that is an excellent description because their culture really hasn't changed much since then.
Description of, wait. Go back to what you said. If you read the King James edition of the Bible, the Christian Bible, or also, I guess it would be the Old Testament?
Correct.
All right.
So, whatever.
Pentateuch or whatever. You're saying that is the best description of Muslims?
Well, the description of what Israel did in those times are identical to the Muslim practices today.
What does that mean?
What you see the Muslim traditional punishments are, that's what the Israel's will.
Where are the traditional Muslim punishments?
Well, what you see going on in Iran and stuff like that.
What do you see in Iran? What do you see in Iran?
I don't see anything. I hear about it.
Exactly. Thank you very much. And there you have it, my friend. You know, in Iran, it's got to call you Sharia law. And now, there have been some incredibly horrible things about the morality police. What did you love to have the morality police?
He's walked into that one.
I'll run it, but I've got different things. First of all, backpacks in the subway. I take you out.
I just heard about it.
I take you out right there. People who wear backpacks,
He walked into that
elevators, these big Sherpa-like these big lawnmower parachutes. No, gone. That's my morality police. But people don't really understand. So it's there, but then again, I've talked to people who've been to Iran. By the way, I have no interest in going there. None. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's a wonderful place, the Persians. I have no interest in going to any foreign country, ever. I really don't. I'm sorry. I know this is probably boorish to say this, but in any event,
I don't want to travel
there
anyway.
are pictures, and I know of women walking around with long hair, not with hair coverings. That Sharia law is not what you think it is. That hands being chopped off, that's more Saudi Arabia. That's rare, if anything. But we have this idea. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if during the 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, the world thought of America based upon some pictures it saw of our lynching black people. They would say, they lynched black people. You know how rare that was? There are people who said, I never saw lynching once. It happened, but if you were from another country, you would swear it was so prolific. And you say, that's not. Come on. Have you ever heard people describe the United States as terrible? And you don't really know how patriotic you are until you go someplace and you get a bunch of foreigner types saying things about us. They don't know what they're talking about because they watch TV. So be very, very careful. Very, very careful when you talk about how people have not advanced and that sort of thing. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Mickey about remote viewing, one of the best stories and subjects available today. All coming up on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
The other side of midnight with Lionel.
Greg Kelly here. Donate now to toysfortots.org, working year-round, delivering hope to children at Christmas time and beyond. In 2024, Toys for Tots provided over 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children in need. Donate now, please. Go to toysfortots.org. Since 1947, Toys for Tots has distributed 708 million toys to 314 million deserving children. Working year-round, Toys for Tots. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org. That's toysfortots.org.
You work decades for your savings. Don't let a policy decision wipe it out overnight. Rising debt, bank stress, the threat of a weaker dollar are all forcing smart investors.
All right, I'm going to sign off now. It's been 2 hours and 37 minutes. I got 2 people watching, so I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye. There we go. All right, close that. Yep, there we go. Have a good night.